If you're thinking about investing in shares, buying shares, you need to understand, or it's useful to understand, that you don't need to pick winning shares all the time to do well. In fact, you could pick a winning share out of every 4 shares and still do well. And the reason for that is very simple. When you pick a share and invest in it, say, let's just for the sake of this video, you invest €1,000 in shares in a particular company, and the company gets into significant and catastrophic difficulty, and essentially your shares are absolutely worthless. The most you can lose, obviously, is €1,000. In other words, the original €1,000 that you put into the company. On the other hand, if you put €1,000 into a separate company or a number of other shares, and they don't go catastrophically badly, in fact they go really well and they increase in value, and there's good earnings and good growth and increasing revenue and so on, and the shares increase in value, there's no limit to the increase. So they could increase in value by 50%, 100%, 300%, 500%. In other words, with your winners, there's no limit to the upside, whereas with your losers, there's a limit, there's a floor to how far they can fall in terms of your investment. In other words, there's a limit to what you can actually lose. As a practical example of that, I just had a look there this morning because I wrote a blog post on one of my websites about this very topic. And I was looking at my Davy Select account, and I looked at the best performing share in terms of increase in share price over the last 12 months or so, and the worst performing share. The worst performing share was one called Providence Resources. It's an oil exploration company. It was a very, very speculative sort of a punt that I took, and I only spent a small few bob on it. My original investment was in 5,000 shares, but the shares were only 3 cents each. They cost me €413.99. They're now worth €170. That means that they've fallen in value by 58.94%. Now, if Providence Resources went out of business tomorrow, from the perspective of my share investment, all I can lose is my original investment of €413.99. Even if I put in €1,000 or €3,000, then all I can lose is the €3,000, the maximum that I invested in the property or in the shares. On the other hand, my best performing share was in Fraser's Group, and it has increased in value by 160.99% over the same period of time. I bought 1,000 shares originally, and they cost me €3,218.08, and they've increased in value by 160.99%. They are now worth €8,398.86. So you can see that those Fraser shares, for example, I could sell them now if I wanted to. I won't, I'll hold on to them. But they could actually increase in value by 200%, 300%, 400%, or if I hold them long enough, 5 years, 10 years, they could increase by 5, 6, 700%. Principle is the same. Your loss in a losing share is limited to the amount that you put into it, the amount that you actually spend on the shares, whereas your upside, your winners, if you get what's called a 2-bagger, a 3-bagger, a 4-bagger, your upside is unlimited. There's no ceiling. The sky is the limit. And that's why you can actually make good money, get a good return over a period of time with share investing, even if you're only picking one good share out of 4. Now, you won't actually pick one good share out of 4. You'll do better than that, because quite frankly, if a monkey threw darts at a dartboard or at the FTSE or the S&P 500 and just had a basket of shares, as it were, then they'll do well over time. And that's why you probably should consider investing in an index fund or some sort of an ETF. Anyway, that's a different video. That's a topic for a different day, which I will deal with. But I just thought this was useful enough. If you had concerns about losing your money investing in shares, clearly you can lose your money. I mean, if you put all your eggs in one basket and it goes, into liquidation or whatever, then you've lost your money. There's no two ways about that, and you do need to be careful. But I'm just saying that in the overall context, if you pick 5 shares, 10 shares, 15 or 20 shares, and you only pick one winner out of 4, you'll still probably do well and get a good return, simply because, as I say, there's a ceiling, or there's no ceiling rather, on your upside, whereas there's a base or a bottom, a floor to your downside. Hope you find this video useful. If you do, I'd appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up down below, and you may be interested in signing up for my investment newsletter. It's just a free investing newsletter that I send out by email. There's forms there on my businessandlegal.ie website, my solicitor's website. You'll see it there. Just look for Terry Gorry's investment newsletter or Terry Gorry's investing newsletter. It's completely free. I respect your privacy. You can unsubscribe anytime. Thanks a lot.